everybody, DM Jim here, and welcome to a new episode of the Tabletop Engineer. I just got back from Gen Con, and there was a lot to see, but there was one thing in particular that totally surprised me because I wasn't expecting to see it there. Dungeons & Dragons has a new adventure coming out in about a month called Descent into Avernus. It is, I don't have a lot of details on it. It was not the book that I got to see, although I would have loved to have seen that. Instead, what it was an 11-inch prototype vehicle called the War Machine. Now, if you've been following this new adventure and the releases, there are plenty of photos on the web for it, but I'm going to post one right here for you. Okay, take a look at this. This sucker is 11 inches long. Now, it is called a large vehicle in terms of its size. It being that it's well over, it's about 11 inches long, that does not fit into the normal monster scale. Like Gargantuan, for example, has a 20-foot by 20-foot footprint. So that's a 4-inch by 4-inch square. So this sucker's like 3 of those, right? Almost 12 inches by 4 inches. I think the width of it was about 3 or maybe, let's see, it was about maybe 2.5 inches. But my point is, apparently they have created a new set of sizes for vehicles, and I don't have details on that. I don't know what the smallest vehicle is. I don't know what the largest is, because this one was called large vehicle. It may have been called huge vehicle. Either way, if the sizes are comparable to monster, then that means we probably have like a tiny, a medium, or whatever, a large, a huge, and a gargantuan. So I don't know that. But what I do know is seeing that sucker gave me some ideas. And I don't know whether I'm going to be running that adventure yet. I may take a break from DMing for a season. But one way or the other, I want to make a vehicle. So in this episode, I am going to make a vehicle from scratch. I don't even have an example to show you yet when I'm shooting this. I am getting ready to start. I have some ideas in my head, but you're going to see from start to finish how I develop an idea and turn it into a vehicle for the Descent game that's coming out. So let's get to the table and let's get started and see what I can come up with. You're probably wondering, what is all this junk on the tabletop here? And you may also notice that it consists of Lego. One of the reasons I have a bunch of Lego on here is I'm making a vehicle, and my children have a large collection of Lego that they don't really even play with much anymore, so rating it is not making me feel too guilty. So what I've done is I've pulled out a bunch of wheels and tires, rubber tires, some treads, just some odds and ends, and I found this particular piece. I don't know what it was for, but it looks like it was a framework of a car or something like that. And yeah, these look like the tires for it. But I am going to go for a tread look, just because the War Machine that I am sort of referencing has treads, and I thought that would be kind of cool. These have a notch here in the middle, I figured out, they sort of fit over this, and see how they rotate. Now, I don't know if this thing will rotate when it's all said and done, but that's kind of cool. I don't also want the treads to be like this. I don't want the same wheels in back. So I found these large rubber tires, which go with these rims. Yeah, these rims. And I can stick this rim on here. Now, unfortunately, I guess because of the way this rim is, it does not rotate. All right, well, never mind. I have put out a blue painter's tape here. This is a 3x6 grid. This is basically what I'm going to try to do, is work within this limitation. I'm going to use Lego to sort of come up with the structure and the shape, and then I'm going to use chipboard and foam and whatever else I can to flesh this design out. All right. So the first thing I want to do here is create the back wheels, because I have a feeling there'll probably be a set in the front too. Let me see if this works. All right, so this goes over there. This is tight. Is it going to break? Don't break. Don't break. Okay, get on there. Come on. Hey, look at that. All right. Huh. That fit. I did not think that would work. Is it centered? Does that look right? Oh, wait a minute, there we go. Now, one thing I think I am going to do is probably glue all this together. I know that goes against the spirit of Lego, but I do not want this thing breaking apart after I've got it made. So I am going to do that. So let me see, I need another wheel. There's one. What do I have? I need an axle. Great. That won't work. So let me go to the drunk bin. Here is the drunk bin. Basically, I'm looking for something like that. That's what I'm looking for, right there. Little axle. Let's see if that will work. That goes in there. No, doesn't go in all the way. All right. This is the part that can be aggravating about Lego, is finding the right piece that will allow you to do what you need to do. And I'm trying to talk over my Lego here, so I may mute this at some point. Let's see, will this work? Ah, this might work. Okay, so this will go in here, and it will go on, no, oh no, wait a minute. Take the rim, well, do I have a rim that's, oh dude, here we go. Oh, I already had an axle in there, all right. Let's see, well, this one spins. This one does not, so I will probably glue that on there. Great. All right, so let's see. Here's the tread. Oh boy, that's gonna be tricky to get it. Oh no. Oh yeah. Once I glue it on there, it's wanting to come off because it's not glued, but that's not bad. That's gonna make an interesting looking set of treads. They start big in the back and small in the middle. Check that out. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this up. Do I glue it up now or do I glue it up later? Because I have to glue it up now because it will not stay together. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to time lapse for that so you don't have to watch the glue dry. And then we'll come back and tackle the front part of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a roller for the front of the vehicle that will have spikes, like maybe toothpick spikes or something coming out of it. So what I've got to do is I want to make sure this does not ever come undone, obviously, so I'm just going to glue it together. There we go. All right, and this will be, like I said, this will be a roller on the front here. For either the front or the two sides, I haven't decided yet, I want to make an area where a figure could stand and like fire weapons, not the driver. The driver is going to be somewhere up higher. But I thought maybe something down here, or maybe two of them, depending on what I can do. And I found this interesting piece. So I'm making this up as I go. So please forgive me if it doesn't go anywhere. But I found these little horns, which I think are gonna snap into these. So first thing I want to do is this little piece right here kind of looked like a dashboard. So I thought, right there. And now, if you've ever done any designing with Lego, you'll notice I've got studs that are pointing up. So at some point, I want to flatten those so that Minnie can stand on them and not fall. And for that, I find pieces like this that are, they have the holes on one side, but they're flat on another. This piece needs to be raised up, so I'm gonna just take a standard brick and put it in there like that. And I'm gonna mount the horns here and here. Okay. This piece will go here. Okay, and then I found these interesting pieces which look like little grids or something industrial looking. I'm gonna put some all over. Let's see. I'm not worried that they're the colors, because I'm gonna prime this thing when I'm done. And I don't want studs showing, so there's two, so I'm gonna squeeze one down there. And now what I've done, with the exception of that stud and that stud, which I don't quite know what to do with, I have a flat area here for like a miniature, where's a miniature, to stand on. All right, what else? These front ones, I'll mount grids, I'll mount the these pieces there as well. That looks pretty good. And I need horns. Here's one. And I have another one somewhere. What'd you do with it? Ah. Oh, here they are. I had a whole bunch that I found. So I'm gonna take one out, put it here, and now I have an area. Now I just got to figure out how to mount it. If I mount it to the front, I only need one. If I mount it to the side, I'll need one to balance it. The problem is, unless you have a large Lego collection, sometimes it's hard to find duplicates. So the fun part is I actually want two of these. I don't want just one. One on this side, one side. So I've got to go hunting for this little dashboard piece. These are pretty common pieces, so are the flat ones. I don't know about this. I'm hoping that these come from dozens and dozens of Lego sets over the years, so I don't know what my boys will have collected, but I'm hoping to find that piece and that piece again and make a second one. I'll spend 20-30 minutes looking. If I can't find it, I'm just gonna, I'll go with one. Okay, I managed to make a second one. I could have even made a third one. I found more of this, another gray one, but then I found a white one. So I'm gonna set that aside, because one day I might want to replicate this design if I make another vehicle, to make them look like they were sort of made by the same engineer. Haha. So basically what I've done is I've broken these into two separate pieces, mounted one at the front. This one I added a steering wheel, because these vehicles do have them. And this piece is going to sit up here, like so. And if you notice, a miniature fits perfectly right there. Now, this is by no means done. This is just the frame, and I'm gonna add like armor and other stuff, but I need to get all of this primed and painted. I'm gonna take off the rubber and then prime everything so that I can get started on the armor. Okay, let me show you what I have so far. And keep in mind, I'm about halfway there. And as with most projects, sometimes I look at something at the halfway point and I'm just not happy with it, but I'm trusting that it's gonna get there. In this case, I'm pretty happy with the base of my vehicle. Now this is the tread part, and I want you to notice you can see through here, through it to the other side. That's going to change because I'm going to insert some chipboard in there to block that. I've also got the two areas that will hold a Mini. Okay, see, I've added these like handrails here, so to speak. This one is the driver. It's got the little steering wheel. And this one will mount, back here. And then this other one mounts up in the front. Now, what you're looking at here is a vehicle that has no armor, okay? That's all gonna be done in chipboard, and we'll get to the table and I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. But I just wanted to give you basically a look at it without the armor. And anything that looks Lego-ish is going to be covered. You may still see some studs and stuff like that. But mostly I've tended to cover things with Lego pieces that are smooth to sort of hide the fact that this is a Lego piece. Last thing I want to add before we get to the work table is this was fun. As an adult, I don't think we play with Legos enough. Those of us who build Lego kits, you know that it's fun to get a Lego kit and build it with the instructions. But this one had no instructions. So I had forgotten how much enjoyment I get out of just tinkering, taking Legos and just making something. What you see here is just in the videos, you see minutes, but they're 30 minutes to an hour of just tinkering and trying to come up with something that looks right to me. And that was fun. So I highly encourage you to get out the Lego pieces if you have collections and maybe try this. So let me get back to the tabletop and let's get working on the armor. All right, through trial and error, I have cut out this little piece right here that's going to fit down in there like that. And what I need to do is cut a second one. So I will do that right now. And again, this was done trial and error. The reason I'm not including it in the video was I cut myself. And it was bleeding as I was doing that. And I just was like, you know what? They don't need to see the blood. I just, I was ignoring it and making my cuts. So anyway, let me cut the second one. Now these are going to be glued into that gap and primed black because I don't want them to be this chipboard color. But before I prime them, I'm going to glue a bunch of gears and other odds and ends onto them so they look sort of mechanical in nature. So first thing I need to do is, this is the front right here. So I'm going to label this right and left. So we'll call this one the right when you're looking at the front. So what I want to do is I want to trim this down just a little bit more because it's just not, I don't want it to be tight. I want it to fit nicely down in there like that so that I can put the treads on again without messing this up. So that actually looks pretty good. And this one will be the left, which will be here. And this one will go, let's see, I have to cut it like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to trim that one a little bit too. So I will, like so. Nope, it was like this. All right, there we go. That'll work. All right. In order to get those down in there the right distance, I need to determine what that distance is going to be. So let's see. If this goes on here like so, I want it to go not all the way down, but maybe right about there. And looking behind here, there's about, well, there's a, how convenient. A Lego brick will do sufficient, will suffice. We'll do 2 of these. See these? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and I'm going to glue this here like so. And then this will get glued on top of that. So let me get the super glue out. For gluing the plastic to plastic, I really prefer the super glue versus hot glue. It's just, it cures much quicker. Just put that in there, hold it for just a little bit. There we go. Flip it over, do the same for this side. Now, you know, I'm hoping that all this super glue and a lot of the Legos I did not glue. I glued a lot of them, but there are some that are not. But hopefully nobody's going to be messing with this to the point where it will break apart. I'll have to be a little careful with who I let handle it. All right, so these are on. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to glue these on and then take the treads off so I can have access to them. So this is the right side. It's going to go right there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little hot glue on here. All right, press this down in there, like so. Okay, let that dry real good. Come over here, do the same thing. A little hot glue right here. And then this, I should have labeled the top. Does it go like that? Or does it go like that? It goes like this. All right, there we go. All right, so this is just basically to keep you from seeing all the way through it. And now that those are on, I'm going to try to carefully remove the tread so that I can gain access to that chipboard and glue some stuff on it. And I'll have to prime it. So for right now, I am done with the treads until they'll get put on when this whole project is finished. All right, there we go. All right, so time to add griddlies to these. And there you go. I don't have a name for this yet. Probably will by the time the video comes up, but I want to show it to you. Here it is. Let me snap the top part on there. There you go. One descent into Avernus vehicle. It's got a, let's see, what color paints did I use? I used Folk Art Metallic Antique Copper to give it that, that really burnished look. I haven't done the treads yet. I'm still letting some of the paint dry and the glue dry. I'll probably go over the treads with the same metallic. We'll see. But all in all, yay! This thing looks so cool. I am very proud of this one. Honestly, I kind of had something in my mind, and this is pretty close to what I was envisioning. It's definitely not the 11-inch long, one that Wizards of the Coast is putting out. This is a 2-person rider. There's a room right here in the front for like a archer or somebody, and then there's the driver position up top up here. I will include some really good close-up photos of all the angles. But before I go, I got one more surprise. This may or may not matter to you, but I thought it was kind of cool. You may notice that I left some orange Legos exposed right there. Last year at Mace in Charlotte, North Carolina, DM Scotty gave out to a bunch of us some of these little teeny, see this little ball? It's when you pull this piece of paper out, it's an LED. You know where this is going. All right, I intentionally did not glue the driver's seat on. So I'm gonna pop it off. I'm gonna drop this in. There's a special space for it. And I'm gonna put it back on. Sometimes I crack myself up with some of the silly things I do. All right, come on now. I gotta be very careful. I don't wanna break this. It's got you can see a glow from behind there. It's very random. It typically is orange. The machines, as I understand it in the rules, can be fed soul coins. The soul coins give them extra powers, extra speed, things like that. And I wanted to give it that, look of like there was an infernal engine, running the thing. So there you go. Yours is not going to look just like this because chances are you will not have the exact same Lego pieces that I had. However, dig out your Lego, use it as a base. Could I have done this without the Lego? Probably. I would have had to make the treads out of like paper or maybe, stitch together a bunch of pieces of chipboard to make it flexible. I don't know. It would look totally different, but given that this is probably about 75% Lego and the rest of it chipboard, toothpicks, and paint, I'm pretty pleased, and I think it's going to look awesome on the tabletop. All right, hopefully I can come up with a name for this before I post the video. But anyway, I hope you like this. Ever since I saw that 11-inch long war machine at Gen Con, I had it in my mind that I had to do something on a smaller scale. So I hope you can duplicate this in your own way, and I would love to see what you come up with. That adventure, Descent into Avernus, is not going to be out for about another month, but at the time I'm posting this video, mid-September, I believe. So you've got plenty of time to start making some vehicles. I might make one more. I haven't decided yet, but I kind of want to see the rules and understand it a little better before I go spending a lot of time making more of these. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back next week with a new video. If you are not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button below and you'll be notified when new videos come out. I try to put them out every Friday, and so far I've been pretty good about that since I've returned. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. It's okay. That's all I have for you. This is DM Jim. I'll see you next week.